How you doing, guys? ZDEyE here. So I have finished Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC main quest. I've done a few other side objectives as well, and you know what? Long story short, this is genuinely an incredible DLC for you to pick up. Now, unfortunately, there are still a little bit of gripes that I definitely have to mention them for me to kind of actually, how can I say, give it a proper critical review. Now, one thing I have to say, guys, that few of the negatives that I definitely will mention in this video, they basically, all the others such as the positives, well, they far outweigh those negatives. And mind you, if you would ask me a question right now, if it's worth picking this DLC up for $20, I think yes, it is definitely worth it, but unfortunately it is a bit light in terms of the content that you can play within here, well, at least within this DLC, right? And basically, I'll say if you want to 100% it, and I'm specifically talking about in terms of the trophies, to do every trophy for the DLC specifically, yeah, that can take you about, give or take, 10-15 hours. Seriously, it's that short. Now, it's not to say that's a bad thing completely, because it could always, like everyone says this, right? Quality over the quantity. Now, I don't know if that necessarily goes well with this game, though, if you could say that again, right? Okay, so, well, DLC, in terms of DLC and, how it matches against the Horizon Forbidden West, the main game, obviously, it is far shorter, but since there is a DLC, we can exclude that fact, and it's genuinely not a negative, but one part of it that's definitely a minus for me, that is too damn short. I finished this campaign, I think it was around 4 hours, give or take, and I think it's way too short to justify its full DLC campaign. But it was quite bombastic, it was quite hectic, it was quite cinematic, beautiful, and very, very fun, for sure. And so this is why I said at the beginning that yes, this is definitely worth it. But for a lot of people that perhaps they do not like Horizon games, right, then yeah, this is not going to change your opinion at all. It's basically more of the same, what you have already seen from Horizon Forbidden West. Now, since this DLC is only available on the PlayStation 5 platform, I want to mention that this genuinely is the one, if not the most beautiful looking games ever. It genuinely is. Now, with no longer any limitations from the PlayStation 4 version of the console, and only available on PlayStation 5, this DLC, well, you can start to see how much that Guerrilla Games have actually utilized of the advantage that the PlayStation 5 has for this DLC specifically. Now, of course, there's still limitations, unfortunately, because Horizon Forbidden West, do not forget, has been released on PlayStation 4 as well, day one, and when you were playing that game, you can also play PlayStation 4 over the PlayStation 5 version. Now, the DLC is only available on a PlayStation 5 version, and as such, because you do need to have the main game, Horizon Forbidden West, there's still going to be some kind of limitations that, unfortunately, Guerrilla Games had to compromise. Again, we do not see them, and it is fantastic because I'm playing on PlayStation 5, you guys are playing on a PlayStation 5, mainly because this DLC is available only on a PlayStation 5 version of this game. And as such, after experiencing this DLC, by the way, do not worry, I'm not gonna give you any story spoilers, and also a new character, yep, she's great, Saika, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, she's great, I like her as a character, she's okay, she definitely reminds me very similar to Aloy, at least in her early stages of the game, and even Horizon Zero Dawn, and how her eccentric and personality really is, how she is always in the face of danger and stuff like that. She's very brave about it. But yeah, there's always something about this game, it's genuinely makes it so much more appealing for me, is how you can actually explore the world. It's genuinely very, very exciting. New mechanics, well, new enemies that have been introduced here. It's genuinely a lot of fun, right? There's a lot of things that you can do within this game that definitely justify of you making a purchase for this DLC. Okay, now I want to say one negative especially. I feel like the LA setting has been a little bit underutilized. Actually, when I say a little bit, I mean quite a lot, in fact. I feel like there's some landmarks that's just not present here. I feel like they could have actually done a better job of actually showcasing the LA. in some cases I'm even thinking, man, maybe they should have just, like actually connected LA somehow with San Francisco. I don't know, it's just my thoughts, you know what I mean? And I'm looking at it and I'm just like, oh man, there's some landmarks and are present here. But again, I get it, it's a post-apocalyptic game, so it makes sense why a lot of things are not going to be present here. Some of the things are going to be recognizable and some of the things are not. Now, oh, by the way, I definitely noticed this is weird. I don't know if it's necessarily minus, but maybe it's just too early to say, but I definitely felt it, that the world seemed empty. Maybe it's because perhaps Guerrilla Games knew that we will be flying most of the times, and that's why they didn't really, how can I say, implement all the ground necessities that you would expect to see. Like in Horizon Forbidden West, that was not an issue, but here I feel like it is. Interesting. Oh, another thing, I had like 2 bugs. They're no big deal really. One of them one day I just got clipped through the wall and I couldn't get out. I had to restart the save. It was very quick, it's no big problem. And the second time I was during the quest, and for some reason I could not use my melee. R1, R2 buttons just genuinely did not work at all. And I was like, man, what the hell is going on? So, I kept crafting ammunition, kept crafting arrows, and then it suddenly works. And then afterwards it just disappears, it does not work, the buttons. And I thought, I was like, oh no, is my controller broken? My PlayStation DualSense Edge controller broken? Really? So, okay, then I looked it up online and said, okay, you just need to restart the save. And long and behold, the save was the issue, it seems like, and it actually did fix my situation, and it never happened again. And I'm glad about that. So yeah, this campaign, it is basically bug-free. It genuinely is. It constantly kept on running at 60 FPS. It was an incredible experience, and I'm glad the way, there were no frame drops. Like, it's very, very polished game, man. It genuinely is. It's like a fantastic experience. Actually, when I started playing this for the first time, and I was so kind of bummed out because I wanted to get in straight away, you know what I mean? And just have blast with it. But the problem is because I forgot my memory muscle and also how to play the game, the controls and everything, and I was just like, oh shit, what do I do? Also, this is okay guys, I'm gonna have to say this is definitely a minus. I do not know what's going on here. Maybe it's just my game, maybe it's the difficulty I've been playing this on. Normal difficulty, right? Okay, so normal difficulty, that's the setting I've been playing this game on, this campaign. I died way too much. Now, I admit there's some parts I could have done better, some bosses I could have accomplished better as well, but there are some cheap tactics going on here, and I'm noticing quite seriously. I cannot imagine playing this on a very hard difficulty. It's gonna be brutal as hell. And I mean, to the point, not to say, oh man, I died because it was my fault. No. I died because the game mechanic is fucked. It genuinely is. There's so many one-hit type of situations that you can get into, and you just like that died. Like, for example, one new enemy, it's like a frog basically. He just can slap you, and if there's 2 of them, forget it. You can just like restart the whole fucking game basically, because, well, not restart the whole game, but like restart the checkpoint, and you best thing to do is go against 1, because if there's 2, you're done. Forget it. No matter what difficulty. Well, unless if you play like casual or easy, or I should say story or easy, normal or even higher up, yeah, that's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm sure you can be able to, chain, do chain damage basically, right? And of course exploit that to a lot of degree as well, and make sure you have a lot of ammunition, a lot of arrows and stuff like that, then yeah, you're gonna be fine. But again, you have to be very cautious. And also it's also because I felt like that. But remember guys, I said that my controls, at least at the time, I didn't feel very comfortable with the game yet. But now, of course, after finishing the game, I'm far more easy going with it. Basically, in terms of controls, I'm far more familiar with it. I'm still noticing the same gripe with these specific enemies. They feel like they're more or less one-shots, and I think that's a little bit aggravating, especially last boss man. Like, what is going on with that? It's a lot of cheap like tactics going on here, and I didn't genuinely like that. I felt like it was far more present here than it was in Horizon Forbidden West, because Horizon Forbidden West is not out of its faults as well, because they got some cheap kind of like things going on there as well, with its cheap attacks and stuff like that, just like one-shotting you. But yeah, there's just still, like I said, guys, these negatives, they mean nothing in terms of the positives that I got here. But I definitely want to verify them. I definitely want to mention them because, again, I'm a critic. I want to make a proper review, and I don't want to be biased about one thing that I generally do know that there's definitely some minuses as well within this game. As there's actually quite new and exciting tools, I want to say. I can't say tools, can I? I think I would say more of a weaponry. The weapon's pretty damn awesome. I feel like there's just so many varieties in here. It's always nice. Okay, well, then I kind of want to talk about the narrative, but I'm worried about it because I don't want to give any spoilers, what happens and how it happens and how it ends and all that good stuff. I think I'm just gonna, stop there. Alright guys, I think this was a good DLC. I genuinely liked it. If I would have to give it a score, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. And I had a blast. And I hope that Guerrilla Games, whenever you're gonna release the third one, Horizon, upcoming steroids, but I don't know what they're gonna call it. And yeah, so hopefully it will, how can I say, live up to the expectations, because I feel like they need to wrap this game up on a third entry, call it a trilogy and be done with it, or something, I don't know. But it's gonna be interesting, entertaining for sure, and it's gonna be a curious road ahead, if that makes sense. Alright guys, like and subscribe, see you guys all later, and have a wonderful day.